What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you doing? I'm having real issues with these doing broadcasting sites. I had to switch back to the other one because that one wasn't working. This one ain't working. That ain't working. It is what it is. Um, I'll figure that out later. But it is what it is. Took me out of my frame of thought. Really did. Took me totally out of what I was doing. For some reason, it wasn't allowing me to. I was having real issues. Real issues. Real issues. Still having them. No, it is what it is. It is what it is. Still was having real issues. But it is what it is. Trying to get it fixed. But, that's technology. That's what happens. When you got technology, that's what it is. It is what it is. It's not perfect. You're going to have issues once in a while. Can't do nothing about that. Can't do nothing about it. It is what it is. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you doing? Oh, I mean, to title my video, I had to just kind of put that in there, but then I did that wrong because I'm looking at that spelled wrong. But it is what it is. I'll fix it later. But yeah, it is what it is. I had to go back to this one. The OBS for some reason. I mean, not OBS, but the other one with StreamYard was giving me a problem. Wanted me to set up something, and I'm like, I'm cheap. I ain't got no money. But I got to fix the title to this. But I just typed real fast and hurried went on there to try to get this live going because I was having issues. But it is what it is. How y'all doing? God bless y'all. God bless y'all. God bless y'all. Probably not gonna be too long today. We'll see how this go. Just wanted to have a conversation because you got everybody complaining about they having to pay these student loans back. Um, that is getting out of hand, and it's been out of hand for a long time. Oh man, that's that irritating me. It's been out of hand for a long time, but what we gonna do? It is what it is. It is what it is. Um, I might end up. It is what it is, and it's been out of hand. That's been out of hand for a long time. People having struggling financially wise, money wise, not making it, being able to make ends meet, falling for the trap debt, which basically encouraging people to go into more debt than they already have. A lot of these young kids, when they come out of school, they're coached into buy a house, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, go in debt. Top to bottom, hair and skincare. How you doing? God bless you. Welcome in, welcome in. Um, I was having technical issues with anyway, so I had to just kind of pop in there and realize that, you know, so the title was all screwed up. Wasn't what I was trying to put in there. I just hit some keys and just let it go. Wasn't paying no attention, but I was trying to do something. I had technical issues, wasn't letting me through. But it is what it is. We're here now, so we'll deal with the rest of it later. But yeah, I'm just the level of issues as it relates to debt. Like people have American citizens have a lot of debt. And the last 4 years, it grew astronomical. And it's probably not going to get no better no time soon. And that's real talk. It's probably not going to get no better no time soon. But I try to encourage people to, don't go into debt if you can help it. Because all debt ain't good debt. I mean, there is some good debt. There is some bad debt. Um, Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm trying. When I say I have real issues today, I have real issues. But Jay, what's up, man? What's going on? God bless you, bro. God bless you. All right, be safe out there while you drive. But um, yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good, man. I want you to be safe. But as it relates to debt and stuff like that, yeah, I was having trouble with StreamYard for some reason. I'll go back to trying to fix it later. It was just it would not let me go, and it was issues. I just said I'll go back and deal with it later. So I had to go back to OBX and just get this out of the way. So I'm probably not going to be too long anyway. I really need to get it. I'm gonna try to figure out what that's all about. But basically, I wanted to talk about the debt, even though I screwed that up too. And I really at some point I want to maybe do some series of how to get out of which really takes a lot of discipline, especially if you're really in a deep hole. A lot of these people in school got school debt, credit card debt, maybe bought a house that wasn't worth the money that you initially bought it for. So you got swindled and purchasing a house that technically the value doesn't match the amount of money that you put into it. Understanding interest, understanding, principal, interest on your mortgages if you have, some for those that have mortgages and stuff like that. And how to manage your money and what the best ways to, kind of move your money to where you're not um obtaining all these liabilities. And that's it in a nutshell. Is that not you're not obtaining all of these all of these liabilities. And I try to tell people that the key is um I'm not a big fan of debt solicitation programs. Just for real, I'm really not. I think they work for some people, like, but honestly speaking, there's a whole lot of red tape behind it that people don't realize. So I'm not really, I'm a fan of pick one and work that one. Let's say you have 4 credit cards that you are paying on. 4 credit cards that you're paying. I always my perspective is that okay, you might not be able to put a lot of money on all of them. I would try to put a little bit more on all of them, but find one and target it that. Like just say, you know what, I'm gonna go hard and try to get rid of this one first, and I'm gonna keep paying the other one, but get rid of this one first. And then when you're done with that credit card, you take that very same money that you've been paying and you start chopping at the rest and the next one, starting with the lowest balance and working your way to the other ones. Hopefully by the time you get finished that lower balance one, the other ones have came down substantially where you can actually chop at those and bring them and get rid of those too. Best way to deal with it, don't try not to go into debt. Like really, um, in the world of retail, and being somebody that worked in retail, was in management in retail, the one thing you realize about people have spending habits is that the worst thing you can be is impulsive. If you're an impulsive spender, you probably want to work that one off and get rid of that one. Because impulsive spenders um, sometimes may have a lot of money, but they're so impulsive with it that they can't, soon as they get it, they're spending it. Because they want. And that appetite of impulsiveness cannot be satisfied through spending. It won't be satisfied through spending more money. It's just it will continue to fester, and you'll just end up with more debt, nothing saved, nothing invest. But all you have done is accumulated a bunch of worthless stuff. You have a lot of stuff, but it'll be worthless stuff. It has no value to no one else but you because you're so quick to just you're impulsive. Oh, I gotta have this. I gotta have that. I gotta have this. I gotta have that. So the key to it is try to remain out of debt as much as possible. Don't be impulsive. If you're going to go into debt, use it smart. Meaning that if I'm going to go into debt, make sure that it's something that is going to get me into a situation where it could possibly be a good amount of passive income. Meaning that if I'm going to go into debt, I'm going to go look at a way to invest that debt to make me create some type of passive income or investment or something of that makes. So meaning that, A house is a liability, but it also can be an asset of passive income. My point is that let's say I'm going to go buy a house, right? When I purchase that house, let's say I go get a mortgage on the house. I go purchase that house, I get a mortgage. I got the option at that point. If I live in that house, it's going to be a liability. If I rent that house, it's going to be an asset. And that's the simplest way to put that is that if I rent it, it's going to bring me in possibly some good income, hopefully, if all goes well. That means it's an asset. That means that the property is taken care of, financially wise, taking care of itself, especially if you're getting a good substantial amount above a rent above what you're actually paying out. That portion in between that is basically, money that you can save or invest or whatever the case may be. I don't understand why, but I'm only going to lay the ground for work for this because down the road, I know me and Jay's going to touch on a lot of this stuff down the road, but so I'm not going to be on this live very, very, very long. Plus I was having issues too, but I'm really not going to be on this live very long. I just want to get y'all a little bit of insight of where I'm going with this is that, and the other thing is, when you're in school, like people that go to school, like I coming through high school and going ready to go to college and getting ready, go out into the work field or go out into another thing. In America, and I can't speak to other countries, but in America, they encourages you to go in all of this debt. Like you'll have credit cards trying to send you credit cards, and they want you to sign up for, these credit. You got a $1,500 limit and all this glitz and glamour around this. You got great news. You got approved. And if you don't have no discipline, what's up, word up? How you doing? You don't have no discipline behind your spending habits. What happens is you go out there, you grab this credit card because you're excited. Now you go out there and you max this credit card out. And I'm not even going to say it has to be a lot of money. Let's just say it's $1,000, right? And you make the bare minimum payment on there. You'll be paying that credit card for the next 10, 15 years, maybe even longer, just by trying to pay the minimum. Because they got it set up that way. You'll pay, let's say your payments is $25. It might be more, I don't know, it might be less, I don't know. Let's just say it's $25. Right? Now the item, let's say you bought an item for $1,000. You pay $25 a month, every single month, for that particular item. Now I want you to think about this. This is where the mistake comes into play. And I'm not, you paid $1,000. Let's say the item it cost $1,000. Now you paid $25 in that first month, the second month, the third month, fourth month, fifth month, all the way up to a year. I'm just going to use 1 year as the starting point. And you look at that money that you spent in a year on the bill, not the product, the bill. You got the product, it's yours. You're using it, you're wearing it, whatever it is you bought. The bill, you got to look at the bill. You're still paying for that product in the first year. I'm just using 1 year for that. And you look at your monthly payments after 1 year, and then you look at your credit card balance after 1 year, it will more than likely probably went nowhere. You probably still gonna almost owe that whole $1,000. Because the amount of interest that accrued every single day throughout the payment cycle, bill cycle, is accumulating that whole payment. So by the time you make the payment, almost all the payment went to interest. Young people, a lot of time when they come out of school and they go into these debt, they don't pay that part no attention. They just excited about the fact that they got approved and it makes them feel special or important. It's a gimmick to get you into that debt. And in the next 15, 20 years, you're still paying for that $1,000 item, and they have made probably $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to $10,000 off of you. They've made 20 times the money that you pay for that item because you pay only the minimum every single month. Because you look at, it's a low payment. It's a scam. It is a all around the board scam. And I'm laying the groundwork for that. Like I said, I'm not going to be on this live too long today, because I'm really going to dig into this, and because honestly speaking, that if we don't get as American citizens and get our children under the under the mindset of spend, 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 borrow, 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 spend, 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 go listen to a lot of this stuff that they call the American dream and American way. Right. And what we're doing is we're setting our communities up, we're setting our children up, and we're setting up them for failure. And all of us been trapped to this. I'm saying this because I felt trapped to this. As smart as I think I am, wise as I think I am when it comes to spending, I myself have made bad financial decisions. Not totally detrimental, but I've made some bad financial decisions by introducing myself to debt that I probably should not have used. And then I look at all of the money that I paid into these debt, just trying to get away from them, out of them. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. But I learned from them, and I use those moments to keep changing my perspective about debt, about finance, about my money. And every day I'm still learning. And I know a whole lot more than I did. But I also learn, I'm still learning, because I'm never going to stop learning. I'm never going to stop consuming more information, because there's always something out there that I do not know. But my one of my own personal strategies is to invest, especially into places where I spend my money. That's the one thing. I don't have to wait for the product to go on sale. If I'm spending my money, if I'm investing in the companies that actually make manufacturers, and they can't do it across the board 100%. But my point is, I own a firearm that is made by Smith & Wesson, right? I also have money invested in the company Smith & Wesson. Now, do I have a substantial amount of money? No. But every 3 months, because of my investment, Smith & Wesson pays me out a dividend. Right? Now, if I hold that, let's say I had a lot of money in there, the money that I spent through Smith & Wesson will at some point come back to the point where that firearm no longer costs me any money. I initially paid for it, but now that I've gotten money back from my investment over time, now that firearm has been free to me. Or to some extent, if I hold it long enough and I got enough of it, now I'm actually making money off the very firearm company that made the firearm that I purchased. And I use that and same thing with the company Ruger. And I'm not telling people they should go buy these stocks, but I'm telling you what I do is that I invest money in companies. What's up, Billy? How you doing? God bless you. God bless you. I spend my money. I invest my money in companies where I spend my money. And that's where I do it, because I think that that's helping to offset of my cost of living across the board. So that's what I look for. So let's say I go to Walmart and I go purchase product. Now, here's what I mean. I'm going to use Walmart as an example again, because I'm always using Walmart. I don't know why. I don't even be in Walmart that much. But I'm going to use Walmart as an example. Let's say I go to Walmart, right? And I go to buy stuff through Walmart, from the store. And let's say I'm going to go get some Kellogg's cereal, right? Some Frosted Flakes. And let's just say I'm going to go get some Campbell's soup, right? And I'm going to use those two items. The reason why I say that is because I own stock in Campbell's soup, and I also own stock in Kellogg's cereal, right? Now, and I also own stock in Walmart. This is just my logic of thinking. Let's say, okay, yeah, I'm going to spend this money, but I bought the cereal, who I own shares of. I bought Campbell, who I own shares of. And I purchased it in Walmart, who I own shares of. All three of these companies are going to pay me some type of dividend based on the shares that I own in these companies. This is what I mean by when you get out of school, they don't tell you this stuff. They make it look like investing is about the most riskiest thing you could do in life. It's like the riskiest thing you can do in life. So what happens when people get when they're in high school and they go to college, they accumulate this college debt. They accumulate this these credit card debt, and then even in some cases mortgage debt. And in schools and stuff like that, because our where our system is set up, they're not interested in trying to create business-minded people. They want everybody to be consumers. I know, Donald, I said it early in the video that it was spelt wrong, so you're not making a point. So just whatever. I knew it was spelt wrong. I just wasn't going back to fix it because I had technical issues. But we know it is what it is. Anyway, in order for me to fix it, in order for me to fix my issues, in order for us to fix the kids that are like coming out of school, we got to teach them differently. The first thing they have to do is that they got to realize that don't fall into the consumer mentality trap. Like, it happens every single time. It happens. And then they go into college and they get this whole dream of, oh, I'm gonna go get this college. Listen, yeah. They go into school, they come out of school and they go in and they consume up all of this debt and now they're a slave to it. And listen, it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you are on this one, is that debt is not always a good thing to do. Now, wealthy people use debt to live off of, but they do that to avoid paying taxes. That's why they try not to sell off their assets, they sell off their stocks and the profits that they made for them. They try to avoid that because they'll just borrow against or leverage against their assets and live off the debt and try to avoid paying taxes. That's what they'll do. But see, the average person coming out of school, they don't tell them this stuff and teach them this stuff, and then they fall into the very same trap. Now, listen, at the end of the day, some of that is the person's fault. Most of that is the person's fault because 9 times out of 10, if somebody says something to a lot of these young people that age, they don't want to listen. They think they know more than you know. They think they can tell you more than they can tell you. That no matter what you say, they're so intrigued by trying to impress people by purchasing and buying items they don't want to hear when you try to give them responsible ways of managing or making money or managing their money. It's just they don't want to hear it. So when they'll rather go buy the Michael Jordan sneakers as opposed to. Yes, Jay, that's cool, Jay. When we get into it, we definitely gonna get into it. But they rather go buy those sneakers for $200 than buy the stock of Nike with that $200 because they want to look good for people. And I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. You know, I get it. I don't like it. I don't think it's the smart thing to do, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we have to focus. Like for me, I'm going to do a lot more focus in some of my videos about a smarter way. And I'm not saying it's the best way. I'm not saying it's the only way. I'm not saying that. A smarter way for those that are on our channel, that we can share information on how to better your life financially. And that's just I'm just giving y'all an idea of my pathway to continuously going into financial freedom. So I go buy stock in Sunoco Gas Company, Mobil Gas Company, because I know I'm going to put gas in my vehicles. That's a given. I own stock in AutoZone and Advance. I think it's Advance Auto. Why? Because I might have to buy parts for vehicles that I drive, and they're going to need to be repaired. So I try to look at the way my investment strategy is, and I'm not telling nobody what to do. I'm just saying what I do. I buy stock. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $2, $10, whatever I have to work with, that's what I'm going to work with. That's why I tell people the way I look at it, I call it broke man investment. Might not be the best way, but if you broke, you can do what I do. That's the reason why I say it the way I say it. I'm not saying you should do, it's the best way, it's the only way, none of that stuff. And I'm not telling you what to buy. I just tell people what I do and why I do it the way I do it. I don't do a whole lot of buying and selling, trading stocks and trying to do all this and tell you, oh, you're going to make a ton of money. I don't care about none of that stuff. To me, you're going to make that, in my opinion, that's a bad idea because you might be left holding the bag of something and you're going to wish you never bought. That's just my opinion on it. I buy stock that pays dividends. That's my biggest move of anything else. I invest in companies that pay out dividends. I try to make sure they're solid. And it doesn't mean that's 100% guarantee. And they're not slow walking. And then I wait for the dividends to come back when all the ones that pay me, and I'll reinvest that money. Not all immediately sometimes. Like right now, honestly speaking, I'm letting the pot accumulate. And what I'm waiting for doesn't mean this is going to happen. What I'm actually waiting for is that the Trump administration put a pause on the tariffs. They put a pause on it. All right, so in my mind, all right, I don't know how this is going to play out in the next 90 days. So they put 90-day pause on it. So I'm accumulating what I can accumulate because I know that if Wall Street don't like something that the administration is going to do or what they talking about doing, there's probably going to be a sell-off beforehand, at that moment, or maybe after. I have no idea what they're going to do. But I'm preparing myself for the possibility of it happening so that I can, if they sell off, if I see the stocks drop some more, I can up my position in some of the companies that I'm sitting in the red in, that I want to buy more of anyway. I don't care. I'm going just, accumulating. My thing is accumulation. So, and then I'll wait it out and wait for it to I don't care about it going up. I'm looking for it to go down. That matters to me more than anything because I want to get as much accumulation as high as I can possibly, as much as I can, as low as I can. That's it. I'm not that worried about, I want to sell this. I want the stock market to be up high. It doesn't matter for me to be up high because I can't, if I'm trying to buy, I need those moments. At that point, the money is accumulating. But even the money that is sitting idle in some of my accounts, like especially, let's say Robinhood, the money that's idle in Robinhood is still making money because Robinhood pays you interest on your idle money that you don't have invested. They still pay you. They will still pay you interest on uninvested money. So that's why I use Webull and I use Cash App, but I got other platforms because I don't like having my money in one place. I think that in itself is crazy. So my diversification strategy, as it relates to companies that I have money invested in, also where I put my money at, I don't put my money in one place. I put it in different platforms and the banks and stuff like that, savings account, bank account, not in the same banks, not in the same platforms. I spread it out because I don't want one company having that much control over what I have. And if something, they have an issue, bank have an issue, they have a problem where I can't get to my money, I got another source. There's some money there or another source of money there. So I always don't you diversify your money where it's at, just as much you diversify how much you have money invested in different companies. That's just my opinion on it. Yeah, that's just my opinion on it. But Billy, how you doing, man? God bless you. Jay, how you doing? If you on this live, please go look at Jay's channel, follow his channel. Me and him supposed to be getting back together, doing a part 2 of our series of what we were talking about. We're probably going. Hopefully, we can get a lot more in depth with it. And give a lot more details and stuff like that. But we'll see how that go, man. I'm gonna communicate that on an individual level, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it down the road. The actual day it's gonna be on a Sunday. It's probably gonna be 12:30, but we don't know. We haven't settled on the actual date, but it'll be soon. Hopefully. But yeah, and this is just the thing. I'm laying the groundwork. The reason why I'm saying this is that this video wasn't going to be too long is because I'm just kind of laying the groundwork of some of the things that we're going to probably, some of the stuff I've already talked about on other videos. I've already said on other videos. So I'm just kind of laying the groundwork of what's to come from my angle, and Jay has his angle. And believe me when I tell you, we don't even have to communicate this, but all of this is going to tie together. I guarantee you that what he's talking about, because I know he knows what he's talking about. And what I'm talking about, even if we don't communicate, it's definitely going to tie together because all of the things that he's talking about from a real estate perspective, from mortgages and all that stuff, and what I'm talking about from my side and stuff like that, it actually ties together. All of it ties together. People don't realize that it's tied together. And if, my thing is once we set that date and once we get that time, I would encourage you to get it, to let people know that they might want to get in on this one. They might want to pay attention to this one. They might want to let their friends, if they got debt issues, mortgage issues, credit issues, all these type of issues, understanding how to get, understanding how interest rates work, how the stock market works, and all of this other stuff that we may have been going to probably get into, and maybe not everything in one time, but the last video we did was very informative. And we'll probably get into a lot more of it and get more in depth with it down the road. But my point is that, hopefully with the information that me and him put out, we get to help someone. I don't care if it's one person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. Hopefully for somebody that's trying to better their life financially, or maybe not understand how all this stuff works, maybe looking into investment, maybe looking into a home, maybe looking to passive income, maybe looking for this. Hopefully, if it's one person that gets something out of this, that is wonderful. That's great. That's why we're doing it. That's why we're trying to do it. And, some of this stuff has helped us personally, me personally. And listen, I don't know nothing about Jay's life because our relationship has been established through YouTube. But if he listens to me talk and I listen to him talk and we watch video, we know that we both of us have some insight and experiences through our life. And our history can help somebody else, number one, not make the same mistakes that we made. Because I guarantee that he made some and I made some too. Yes. And people are losing their homes. Some people are getting their car repoed. Some people's credit is just jacked up because of credit cards. Couldn't pay them, couldn't afford to pay them. So there's a lot going on. And my thing is that, regardless of what the government is doing, what the Trump administration is doing, we got to hold ourselves accountable for what we do too. And we got to hold ourselves accountable for what we do financially. It's all good. It's all good, top to bottom. It's all good. I know Jay. He'll probably go back and look or whatever the case may be. And plus, you on here, so I know you'll give him information, at some point or another. But I just want to kind of lay the groundwork to some of the stuff that I personally been working on. I'm trying, plug y'all to just, really, if y'all have family members, if y'all know somebody that's having issues, what I say, don't, when we come up with that date and when we come up with that time. Encourage them to jump in. Encourage them to, you might have young kids, you've probably been telling them this 1,000 times. It's not, yes, Billy, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's not easy out here. It's not easy out here. And every little bit, and like I said, I'm not going to be too much longer, but every little bit, and to Billy French's point, it's hard out here. It's tough, and it's very, very tough. And regardless if what administration is in office, we got to make better decisions on our own, as individual people personally, and hopefully through information that we gather with each other. And my thing is this: I'm not saying I know it all because I don't. I'm only going to go by what my experience is. Jay's going to go by what his experience is, and what that information gathered by us too, hopefully will help somebody. Doesn't mean we got the perfect plan. We're going to fix your life. None of that stuff. But I guarantee you, I'm telling you this because it's helped me. It helped me. Throughout my life, it helped me. And that's why I'm saying it. And listen, it helped me $1 at a time. I'm not, I've never had no big bulk of money came, no lawsuits from this and stuff like that. I had to put my foot to the ground on every single day. I had to sacrifice, not do certain things, not buy certain things, do certain things, go certain places, in order for me to try to better position myself the way that I am. And sometimes I look and say, yeah, I want the same stuff that a lot of people want, but at the end of the day, there's a bigger picture here, and I don't want to be a slave to it, so I have to stay away from it. Because if I go run up debt to try to do this stuff, I can't afford it anyway, so ain't no need doing it. But outside of that, y'all, everybody, please have a wonderful day. Please have a blessed day. Like I said, I'm not going to be here long today. I just wanted to get in here, kind of lay the groundwork. I'm really looking forward to me and Jay getting together and working on what we're going to work on as far as the next thing. And even Leah, when me and her was at some point, so probably. Yeah. And hopefully, Billy, man, if you get, it's definitely going to be on a Sunday, probably at 12:30. We just haven't actually locked down a date. So that's the only difference, Billy. So if usually on Sunday we see you here a lot, whatever. Hopefully you get the chance to get in, and hopefully it's going to help you. But like I said, you know, to Billy's point, it's going to, we're going. Hopefully it's going. I guarantee you, Billy, that at some point it's going to help you. If it hasn't already helped me, it's going to help you down the road. Believe me, some of this stuff is going to help me. It's just going. You got to be able to stomach it and slow walk it, but it'll be there. Oh, you in the lab. God bless you. God bless you. God bless y'all. Like I say, if you don't have Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, please, outside everything and anything we say, that is by far the most important thing by far. I don't. That's even when it comes to living your every day of your life. If you really, really read the Bible and you take it, if you really take it in and study it, I'm not going to say read because the Bible says study. It didn't really say read it. It said study it. The reason why the Bible says study is because it wants you to obtain the food for your soul and also to get the information on how to live a better life. There is so much more in the Bible that pertains to everyday single life. And I think a lot of times, we miss that part. We talk about all of the other stuff and, we get in the emotional part and all the other stuff. But I think a lot of times, biblically speaking, we don't realize how much simplicity that is in the Bible that applies to everyday life. That if you really paid attention, it'll better your life. I apply it as much as I possibly can. So a lot of what I'm telling y'all is because I took in what the Word of God says and I apply it to my life and I look for things that kind of line up with the principles of the Bible and I go work it that way. And that's real talk. Yes. And top to bottom, put them in there. Study to show yourself approved. So I try to tell people don't get into just reading the Bible. Study, because that's the part that's going to help you. Study is the part that's going to help you. But hopefully, Billy, it does help you. But with that said, you guys have a blessed day. Billy, top to bottom. Donald, Jay, Chris, for real. All you guys have a blessed day, blessed, wonderful day. And hopefully we get to be back in. Hopefully I get to jump in a couple of days throughout the week. But like I said, I'm really looking forward to the live that me and Jay is going to do. And even when I get a chance to connect with Leah and we get to do something, we'll figure it all out. And some of you other ones, but I gotta get out of here and try to go fix the other issues that I had with this StreamYard. But y'all have a blessed day, and I'm out.